Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, we have the latest numbers of COVID-19 cases on campus, as well as an update on when you can finally get your vaccine.
Plus everything you need to know about the recent violence that went down in the Quinnipiac dorms.
And students react to the shocking new parking fee on campus.
All that and so much more coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Good evening, Bobcats, and welcome to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Ryan Flaherty.
And I'm Vanessa Blasi. We are very excited because we have a great show for you tonight. Isn't that right, Ryan?
A great show and a lot to get to, so let's get right into it. For our top story tonight, we take you right here on main campus where earlier in the week a disagreement between two roommates ended in troubling violence. Hannah Mirsky has more.
Early Friday morning here at Mountain View, Hamden Police and Public Safety responded to a call about a student being attacked by his roommate with a knife over a dispute over a light.
I first was really overwhelmed with the weight of the situation, and then my brain immediately went to how the victim and also anybody that was involved in the situation must be feeling.
The student David Rowe was said to have woken up to see his roommate Benjamin Gutsy on top of him, punching his face and cut his throat with a knife. Public Safety and a Hamden police officer were able to negotiate with Gutsy and gain possession of the knife. Don DiStefano, interim chief of Quinnipiac Public Safety, released a statement mentioning Gutsy was suspended from the university pending the outcome of the investigation.
Some people thought that the 15 hours was a long time. I felt like it was just right there. Any longer would have been too much. Any shorter felt kind of rushed.
Rowe and Gutsy were moved to Yale New Haven Hospital after the incident to treat injuries.
Everybody's going to process this in their own way, and even if you're someone that doesn't feel something right now, don't get upset with yourself or feel discouraged if maybe a month from now or halfway through the semester it kind of hits you, because it's something that is so heavy and so serious that I think that we as a community are still going to be processing it for a long time.
Reporting for Q30 News, I'm Hannah Mirsky.
As the university continues to release their master plan, its latest changes were announced this week regarding students parking on campus. Q30's Joe Lagerpo has more on how the university's parking procedure is changing.
I'm here at Quinnipiac University in North Lot, where currently commuter students can park here for free. But once next semester comes around, they're going to have to pay $90 to park here, and they're certainly not happy about that.
I think it's a bit much for the school to ask for off-campus students to have to pay that fee, being that most off-campus students anyways are the ones that need those parking spots.
Besides the cost of the fee, one of the biggest complaints off-campus students have is the fact that they will not be guaranteed a parking spot on campus, even if they pay the toll.
Making a significant percentage of your students have to pay $90 for a spot that they won't get guaranteed. It doesn't make any sense, and frankly, it's just stupid.
Chief Experience Officer Tom Ellett says that the timing of the decision goes hand in hand with the new requirement to have all incoming students live on campus for their first 3 years if they live more than 25 miles away from the university.
It had to do with the creation of the 3-year residential requirement, and it was the most fitting time to do that when we were rolling that out.
While Quinnipiac offered that explanation, some students still don't believe that the timing is appropriate.
Since the pandemic started, we've all realized that, $90 is not just $90.
Quinnipiac did mention that exceptions may be reviewed based upon financial need, but they are reinforcing that the parking fee will be an important step in their efforts to create a best-in-class residential experience. From Quinnipiac University, I'm Joe Lagerpo, Q30.
The Quinnipiac Center for Excellence in Teaching and Service is now accepting nominations for the 2021 awards. Students, alumni, and colleagues are allowed to nominate any member of the Quinnipiac community that has gone above and beyond for its students. These awards include the Excellence in Service to Students Award and the Excellence in Teaching Award. These are the highest forms of recognition from the university. Winners also receive a cash prize and get their names added to the sculptural plaque in the library. The deadline for the nominations is April 30th.
It kind of made me a little bit disappointed, just because I thought that they were going to be able to do a little bit more. I feel like a training that's optional isn't enough, and there could be.
Tuesday evening, Quinnipiac students received an email regarding the university's newest initiative in their 10-point plan to advance racial justice. This email, which was sent by Vice President of Equity and Inclusion Dawn Sawyer and Director of Multicultural Education and Training Damian Lane, outlines a new course being offered to Quinnipiac students designed to educate students on diversity, equity, and inclusion. The course aims to provide a baseline understanding of inclusive practices all students can utilize. Quinnipiac is partnering with EverFi to implement this program. Students who complete the course by the end of the month will be entered into a raffle for various prizes.
It kind of made me a little bit disappointed, just because I thought that they were going to be able to do a little bit more. I feel like a training that's optional isn't enough, and there could be other alternatives, like we are required to take an FYS course or sociology of.
The People's United Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship kicked off its annual speaker series earlier this evening with U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal. Senator Blumenthal joined the event to give his advice on the role of entrepreneurship and innovation. The goal was to inspire Quinnipiac entrepreneurs and help them achieve their goals. These speaker series will continue until mid-April. Many Quinnipiac students are really looking forward to their first self-care day next Tuesday. On the next self-care day, April 21st, Quinnipiac Provost Deborah Leibowitz has announced they will be holding their annual Bobcat Day. Bobcat Day is a tradition for students to celebrate what it truly means to be a Bobcat. This day will be filled with fun activities and prizes for students, as well as mark the end of the school year.
So it's like a celebration, just like programming. We're gonna have activities, prizes, experiences for all types of students. There's gonna be food, games, presentations. Like it's gonna be like a whole day of just like a million things going on from like early in the morning till late at night.
Released their latest COVID-19 dashboard.
Hepzibah Rajan joins us to talk all things national.
And we'll take a look at this week's weather forecast when we return.
Before you go, here's a quick look into the next couple of days for the weather. Obviously, if you were fortunate enough to get outside today, you noticed that it was almost reaching that 50-degree mark, super sunny, getting some sun on your face, students walking around on campus wearing shorts even. It was a really nice glimpse of spring. However, we are still very far from. Looking into the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, temperatures continue to drop. We're seeing Thursday 41, Friday at 36, and will it continue into the weekend? Will we see snow? Will we see rain? I'll have that answer for you right after this.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Thank you for sticking with us. Up next, learn how Quinnipiac is making changes to their COVID-19 contact tracing methods.
Luca Trion has more on these changes.
has said, please test everyone that's residential at 100% through the month of March. So we're going to do that, and we'll decide about whether or not we sample test our non-residential undergraduates.
Numbers as of this past Friday, there are currently just 24 active COVID-19 cases in isolation, as the university remains at alert level green. This week's positivity rate was 0.3%, with 9 new cases confirmed this week, 5 of which are among residential students, the other 4 coming from students living off campus. As Quinnipiac continues to contain the spread of COVID-19, changes to the original testing plans are being made this week. It was supposed to mark the first week of random sample-based testing, however that is no longer the case, as mandatory COVID-19 testing, which is available on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Burkcon Gymnasium, will continue throughout the month of March for all undergraduate students. Matt Jarancic spoke with COVID-19 Senior Medical Advisor Dr. David Hill about the continuation of mandatory testing.
The state has said, please test everyone that's residential at 100% through the month of March. So we're going to do that, and we'll decide about whether or not we sample test our non-residential undergraduates.
Students promoting health advocacy and synchronized engagement with Communities for Crisis Response is a student-driven, community-led collaboration with Yale New Haven Hospital. Among other things, the group of over 120 students, faculty, and staff aim to promote education about the COVID-19 vaccine. To learn more about this organization, you can find their volunteer sign-up sheet on MyQ. Sign-ups close on the 19th.
Waiting to get your COVID-19 vaccine? According to Governor Ned Lamont's new plan, Connecticut residents of age 55 to 64 can now be vaccinated. As of this past Monday, Governor Lamont says that pre-K through grade 12 teachers and childcare providers are also able to get the vaccine at this point. By early May, Lamont predicts Connecticut residents as young as 16 can get vaccinated. Last Wednesday, Quinnipiac professors were featured on NBC Connecticut to talk about the COVID-19 vaccine. Quinnipiac gathered a team of medical experts and a member of the COVID-19 advisory group to discuss some concerns. Among many discussions, Quinnipiac professor of law, John Thomas, says it is possible that a vaccine mandate could happen by 2022, but definitely no sooner than that.
What's really good about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is that because we know these South African variants are out there, they actually targeted South Africa for their clinical trials, and they have a lot of data out of.
Very encouraging news, Vanessa. I think we're all eager to get that vaccine.
Definitely, Ryan. And now joining us in the studio is Hepzibah Rajan with the latest national news.
Thank you, Vanessa and Ryan. For today's national news, we head to Virginia, where a fraternity has been suspended at the Virginia Commonwealth University after a student was found dead at an off-campus housing on Saturday. The cause of death has not been determined by the medical examiner. The deceased student, Adam Oakes, attended the initiation ceremony on Friday. It is still unclear whether the house where Oakes was found is linked to the university or not. VCU's Senior Vice Provost, Charles Klink, said, quote, "In light of Adam's death and our commitment to a safe and healthy campus, this review will make recommendations about how Greek organizations meet the high expectations we have for them." End quote. In other news, an unclassified intelligence report on Khashoggi's death was released. In 2018, Jamal Khashoggi, a Saudi journalist, was lured to the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. He was drugged and dismembered, and his remains are still missing. The report claims that the killing was approved by Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The Biden administration has not penalized the prince. Banning the prince means declaring a hostile relationship with the kingdom, according to a senior administration. The Saudi Foreign Ministry strongly declines the contents of the report. Hopping over to the West Coast, yet another virtual courtroom mishap took place last Thursday. A plastic surgeon, Dr. Scott Green, appeared for a court hearing mid-surgery. When asked if he was available for trial by a Sacramento Superior clerk, Dr. Green confirmed that he was ready, while the sound of medical equipment could be heard in the background. However, the court commissioner, Judge Gary Link, chose to reschedule the hearing. The Medical Board of California said in a statement, quote, "The board is aware of this incident and will be looking into it as it does with all complaints it receives," end quote. That's all I have for National this week. Back to you guys at the...
Thanks, Hepzibah. Don't go anywhere.
Katie O'Keefe is here to give us this week's weather forecast, and Luca Trion gets us up to date with the latest from Washington. Stay tuned.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Thanks for sticking with us. It's been a cold and windy week, and I don't know about you, Vanessa, but I'm getting pretty sick of the cold.
So am I, Ryan. I'm hoping for some good news from Katie O'Keefe with this weather this week.
Guys, I wish I had better news for you, but unfortunately it's still very cold, minus today's really nice weather. As we look around the map of Connecticut, you can see temperatures are still in the mid 30s, high 30s, even just that. Norwich with 35, New Haven at 39. Today we had a really nice lucky day during the day with almost reaching 50. And just to remind you, we are still in March, which is still very much a winter month. We could have snow, and we still have to get through the better part of April before we can really start seeing that spring weather, the warm, consistent, sunny weather that we all know and love. But now looking into the 7-day weather forecast, I can assure you that there is no snow, no rain, thankfully. I think we've had enough of that. And as we go into the weekend, it gets even colder. Temperatures dropping as low as 17. You are going to want to wear your winter coat. I did walking here tonight. It was still cold, and especially with a little breeze, it gets even colder. So make sure to bring a scarf or gloves with you wherever you go, especially if you're walking around at night. However, as we look at Monday and Tuesday, the beginning of next week, we do see some higher temperatures. We're looking at 43 and 53. 53 should be, on Tuesday with 53 should be a nice day. A nice start to the week as well. Hopefully some happier faces on campus, as we are definitely looking for that warmer weather. I'm definitely with you guys, but back to you at the desk.
So a little bit of warm weather to look forward to. Thanks, Katie.
Up next, yesterday's State of Union event stirred up many important conversations. Kay Pattyfoot has more.
Quinnipiac's SGA hosted their annual State of the Union yesterday, March 2nd. As students watched in the piazza or at home on Zoom, they had plenty of thoughts.
I feel like the students are advocating for one thing and administration's definitely delivering a different narrative.
It was very political, but not in a good way. It was almost like they were acting like politicians, not truly answering the questions from the students.
There were many questions, but Vice President of SGA, Caroline Mello, made sure to ask the big questions.
We really tried to pick the questions that were asked most often. A lot of the questions I asked at the beginning were the ones that were pre-submitted. We actually really didn't write many of our own because we had so many pre-submitted. And so we tried to pick the ones that were submitted more than once because we knew that several people wanted that answered.
Students like Summer Parati are still shocked about the parking fee that will be implemented next fall and the 3-year rule of living on campus.
If you live more than 25 miles away, you have to have Quinnipiac housing. I also think that's really unfair. I think it's going to drive away future prospective students, because when you really think about it, if you're a student and you really love Quinnipiac, you love the program that they offer to you, but you can't afford room and board, they have no consideration for the financial situations of students.
Now, when I asked Tom Allett, who's the Chief Experience Officer here, why implement a new rule stating that students must live on campus for 3 years during a pandemic, he told me that this is something that had been talked about for a while now, even something that was brought up in his interview. For Q30 News, I'm Kate Pat.
President Joe Biden has almost been in office for 50 days now. Luca Triant has our political update and more on what Biden has planned for the future. Luca?
Thank you, Ryan and Vanessa. Let's take off the political news with an update from the White House. President Joe Biden has announced on Tuesday that the United States would have enough vaccines for the coronavirus by May. This comes after the president's administration has given support to Johnson & Johnson, one of the few providers of a single jab COVID-19 vaccine, to help the company create vaccines at an increased rate. The president said, quote, "As a consequence of the stepped-up process that I've ordered and just outlined, this country will have enough vaccine supply in America by the end of May," end quote. Around 7% of the United States population has been fully vaccinated as of today. A $1.9 trillion stimulus bill has passed the U.S. House of Representatives. Dubbed the American Rescue Plan, the bill includes $1,400 checks per person, increased aid for those unemployed, and aid for state and local governments, and until recently, a $15 minimum wage, federal minimum wage. The minimum wage increase was a point of contention among Democrats who hold slim majorities in both chambers of Congress. Between progressive and moderate members of the party, however, Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough, a nonpartisan role in the Senate, ruled that the minimum wage change in the bill did not comply with Senate rules. The bill has now made its way to the Senate for debate and a vote. Last for the political news today, the annual Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, happened this past weekend. The event featured many prominent voices in the conservative movement, from elected Republican officials such as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, to media personalities such as podcast host Dan Bongino. The biggest speaker to attend, however, was Donald Trump. The former president's speech, his first since he left office in January, included reassurances to his fellow Republicans that he would not start a new party in the wake of his defeat, along saying to, quote, "get rid of them all," end quote, to GOP members who voted in favor of his second impeachment. That's all for the political news this week. Vanessa, Ryan, back to you.
We're going to take one last quick break, but don't go anywhere.
That's right. Get all of your favorite entertainment buzz and more after this short break.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Welcome back to the show.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced House Hunter. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
At the 78th Golden Globe Awards this past Sunday, where she took to the stage in a flowing white Givenchy mini baby doll dress that hid her belly and made the internet speculate about a potential pregnancy rumor of her third child. She confirmed the rumors with an Instagram photo featuring her husband, Israeli real estate developer Yaron Versano, and their daughters Alma and Maya. "Here we go again," Gadot captioned the photograph, which showed her family holding her baby bump. She included an emoji to ward off the evil eye on social media. During Sunday's Golden Globes, a Netflix original took home the trophy for Best Drama Series. The Crown is now a two-time winner in the category, previously being honored in 2017 for this first season. The most recent season followed Queen Elizabeth, portrayed by Olivia Colman, and the entire royal family into the 1980s and 90s, with a specific focus on the interesting relationship between Prince Charles and Princess Diana and their respective actors, Josh O'Connor and Emma Curran, won Best Performance by an actor and actress in a drama series. The love for the historical drama continued later in the award show, with Gillian Anderson winning Best Supporting Actress for her performance as Margaret Thatcher. Few of the award recipients or presenters referenced the problems related to HFPA, although Sacha Baron Cohen thanked the all-white HFPA. This is Us star Sterling K. Brown began his introduction by saying, quote, "It was great to be back to the Golden Globes," and quote, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, however, opened the show by directly calling upon the HFPA to address the lack of inclusivity in its ranks during an alternating monologue in which Fey referred to the group as, quote, 90 international no black journalists and European weirdos, end quotes. NBC, which pays millions each year for the rights to televise the ceremony, has had no comment regarding the HFPA and the latest concerns surrounding it. That's all I have. Back to you both on the desk.
Pretty cool these award shows are still going on, even albeit over Zoom. The ratings did drop a little, but really interesting.
Definitely. I have to ask, have you watched The Crown on Netflix?
I have not. It's been in my list for probably over a month or so I'm going to have to check that out. Thanks, Nia.
Our last story of the night is a heart-warming one from a local New Haven restaurant. After years of being friends and co-workers, two women find out they are biological sisters. The women met each other working at the Russian Lady restaurant in New Haven when they realized they had the same Dominican Republic tattoo. Both of the women revealed they were adopted and formed an instant connection.
Finally, years later, a DNA test confirmed the growing theory that they were long-lost sisters. They shared the great news on social media earlier this week.
What an awesome story. It makes me wonder if my long-lost sister is out there too. What about you, Ryan?
Look, I think if there's one thing we've learned from this year, it's that anything is certainly possible, Vanessa. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have tonight.
Be sure to check out Q30 on social media and download our new app to stay up to date with the latest Quinnipiac news. I'm Vanessa Blasi.
And I'm Ryan Flaherty. Have a great night.